Hey, what's up, everybody? How we doing here? Got some audio, got some video. So, hey, what's up, Chris? What's up, Large Marge, Pudgy? Excuse me. Um, yeah, I just got back from riding. I was, riding. Got back from drinking. I've been taking a break from drinking, and so of course, had a couple drinks tonight. And typical me style, like I don't half-ass anything. I go full on. So had a few too many, and here we are. But still wanted to talk about what we had pull off here. So, hey, what's up, Patty? What's up, David? So, Erin had a friend reach out to her. Just going to jump right in. Probably a couple months ago, and I dropped some photos in the Discord, and I was like, what are these? Does anyone recognize these? But I could tell they were interesting bikes. And so on Saturday, we went down to Canton. Her friend was in North Canton. Went down. He was moving out, moving back in with a girlfriend, was getting rid of his bikes and just wanted someone to take them. Originally, he wanted some money. By the time we got down there, he just wanted to get rid of them. And so got this one sitting here. This and turned out to be a really cool bike. Way too small for me. I think Aaron's probably going to take this one. But so this is a specialized Stumpjumper M2. So I think it's an aluminum bike with a carbon fork. I looked up a little of the details. I haven't had time to really look into it too well, but this is a 1993 from the paint scheme. So it would have been green in the back. The paint, they stripped the paint in the front, unfortunately. Would have been green, fading, or purple fading to the green. Steel fork. Most of it's here. Still, I think kind of a cool, desirable bike. But I haven't had the chance to even look into how much is original, how much isn't. I'll zoom the camera out here in a second, and we'll take a look. But yeah, I mean, with everything that's going on in the cycling world right now, I'm like I can't believe I just scored a small size Stumpjumper M2. So a cool bike, covered in like punk rock stickers and all this stuff. I think maybe we'll see about pulling those off tonight. My sciatica nerve pain has gotten worse. I can barely even walk. I can ride my bike. I could sit at my computer, but just like walking is awful. So we'll see. I just took some Advil, and like I said, I've been drinking a little bit. Just went across the street, got some Thirsty Dog Oktoberfest. But yeah, definitely not a bike that can be for me. But Aaron, maybe for my girlfriend, might be a bike that's her size. And then I want to pull the Bridgestone up here in a minute, too, because that's a full respray. So whoever resprayed it, repainted it, did a really nice job. Outlined the lugs, but I think it's a Japanese made Bridgestone. I haven't done enough research to see which. It's definitely an MB2, MB4, MB, whatever, something like that. And it's a mishmash of parts. I think it's mostly original. Someone who must have been too big for it was riding it, put a taller stem in. It has a seat post way jacked up. But to go back to original quill stem, it must be like, I'm looking at it right now, like a 52 maybe? But definitely a frame that someone would want. And so I think the front of the drivetrain on that one is original, but the rear has an Ultegra derailleur. So, and bar end shifters, interesting. We'll get that up there in a minute. But yeah, looking at this guy, this is a very cool bike. And I'm like, so what do we do with this? Do we do we respray the front purple? Like, do we uh, buy the decals to make it a specialized stump jumper again, or do we just like, I don't know. But this is a cool bike. I wish it was my size. I wish the Bridgestone was my size even more. Because the Bridgestone full steel lugged frame is 26-inch wheels. Same with this. But yeah, I haven't had the chance to even like. So when me and Aaron went down there, I made the video about it. If you watched the last video, like we went down, we rode bikes, we picked these up. I looked at them briefly. The guy gave me a bag of parts. I said it. I thought I set it out here to show it on the stream. Um, but then when we left, he was like, "Oh, I've got another shoebox full of parts for this bike." So for this M2 stump jumper, the only thing that's missing actually is the rear derailleur and the shifter for the back. But since he said he had another box he's going to give us, maybe that's there. But when we pulled it off its wall, it actually had the wheels. So it's and I think the wheels go with the full group set. So let's see. I need to wipe these. They're so full of dust. Yeah, so this wheel is a Dior X7. Yeah, Dior. Oh wait, that's up. Oh, is that LX or X7? Some of you guys know Shimano stuff in mountain bike. I'm not, as you know, I'm not a mountain bike expert. Shimano Dior LX, HBM 563 hub. So I'm guessing this would be original to the bike, for sure. Oh, the rim is a Mavic, so let's see what the rear looks like. Again, I'm in massive pain, so this is going to be a slow motion stream here. Oh yeah, so this must be original to the bike too. So yeah, Shimano, Dior, if that's LX, FHM 560. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7-speed, actually. Huh. I guess I said this is 93, so maybe that makes sense. Yeah, so. So Pudgy says Dior was a term for their mountain bike stuff back in the day. Dior SLX, Dior LX, or Dior XT. Yeah, so looking at the derailleur, yeah. The front derailleur is a triple we have on here. That's an LX as well. So I think it was the Bridgestone. The Bridgestone, actually, which I'll pull up here, is a, I think it has an XT Dior derailleur, but we'll get to that in a second. Yeah, so let's look at some of the other components on here because like I said, I've been busy since we grabbed this stuff and haven't really looked at it. The brakes. Oh, so this is a full group set. This is these are cantilever Shimano LXs as well, so front and rear. Let me zoom out here. Let's get some. Yeah, so on the front too, you could see specialized handlebars. Yeah, the levers are Dior LX. And look at this, how the cantilever brake goes right through the stem. So, yeah, it looks all original. Triple, like I said, he said he has a box, so hopefully you get the derailleur. If you see the stickers in the back here, specialized M2. Yeah, fairly nice bike, especially for free, right? Obsolescence. What's up, man? Haven't talked to you in a while. I know I saw you out at the ride a little bit, but we didn't get to talk much. But you said, Dragonhead said 93 for an aluminum Stumpy, and Obsolescence says 93 was a steel. Those welds look like aluminum. Let's see what the sticker says. I know it's an M2 because I pulled off the sticker that was back here, but it says M2 Metal Matrix Duraclan M2 Composite. Is that steel? That feels like aluminum to me. It's oversized tubing, right? It's made in the USA bike, by the way, but is that steel? That sure, these deep welds. That sure seems like aluminum to me. Is that and even that sound, right? Isn't that aluminum? M2 Metal Matrix. If someone has the time to look it up, go for it. But these thick welds and all that stuff, that sure screams aluminum to me, right? Fork is definitely steel. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know. Oh, a magnet. That's the way to go, right? Um, so Doe's Tacos. What's up, Doe's Tacos? You texted me after I was already already going to bed, and I let's get some focus back here. Sorry. So Doe's Tacos, I'm not ignoring you. I saw your text, and I just have totally forgot about it. So I'll get back to you. You sent some photos that were cool. So yeah, I think it's aluminum, right? Sam Diaz, what's up? Oh, we got a serial number too on the dropout back here. Oh, it even has the 93, which is what. So I know the 93 from looking up the color scheme. This is definitely a 93, but I didn't go deeper than that. Like it was just very quick. Yeah. So the stump right. So someone correct me if I'm wrong. Right. Um, the stump jumper is the higher level specialized mountain bike, right? And the hard rock was their like slightly cheaper one, right? Brett said, "Who's got a magnet?" Dragonhead said, "Well, it's an M2." Those were pro spec bikes in 92, 93. Yeah, this is definitely, like I said, I looked up the paint scheme, and now that I'm looking at the serial number that also has a 93 on it, this is definitely a 93. They had the purple front end, the green back end. Um, I think that's aluminum, like Muskrat was saying. It sounds aluminum. There's definitely like they went. I don't think they made oversized tubing and steel like this, did they? We need to clean this guy up. That's Oh, so Bradley Cordora says hard rock, rock hopper, stump jumper in that order. Pudgy says it's aluminum. Yeah, it's aluminum. Like you could tell by these big wells. It looks like my 2001 mountain bike. Yeah. Sam Diaz says I thought the aluminum came with a suspension fork. So I've seen them both. I looked it up on eBay. Uh, that was about the extent of the research I did. And there was a suspension fork model, and then I also saw a steel fork version. So maybe I'm wrong, but it looked like it came with both. Someone could have switched these out. See if these. Let's see if the front dropouts have any markings on them. Yeah, this front fork is so covered in stickers, and the dropouts don't have any markings, so it's hard to say. I definitely saw it. They came with like a similar. Uh, what's the main suspension fork company to my Marin, my '96 Marin? The ones I saw had like that same exact fork. So, but I do think there was a rigid fork option. I could be wrong. Yeah. Oh, Rock Shocks. Thanks, Pudgy. Yeah, Rock Shocks. Definitely saw the one on eBay. I looked up two on eBay, and that were the exact same '93. One had the Rock Shocks, and one had a rigid fork, just like this one, that matched the color scheme. So it was that purple in the front end. So that's what I'm like. What you guys are saying? Yeah, Quad 20, Meg 21, Pudgy. It was a Meg 21 on the eBay one. This is what I'm wondering. Like, I look at this bike and I'm like, something that's become fairly desirable. I'm like, do you respray it to like the purple in the front and buy the decals and put it back original, especially if the dude that gave it to me has that shoebox that has the other lever. Oh, that's not in frame right now. Let me put that in frame. So we got original wheels. We got original full group set. Like, is it worth trying to put the effort to make this all original, or is it worth also taking these parts for other builds and, having a nice set of cantilever brakes and stuff like that? I don't know. We'll decide, especially as the weather gets worse, what we're going to do, because this will worse. We'll do this over the live streams, but I'm very interested in like your guys' opinion of like what is the best course of action for this bike. So I think if this bike was fully original, it's like probably $1,100, bike, but you would still also put, to redo the cables and all that kind of stuff. And this is assuming I get the other original parts out of that shoebox the guy said he has. Like, so it's an $1,100 bike. You put a few $100s into it. Is that worth putting it back to original, or is this worth doing like for someone shorter, like the drop bar conversion to like a cool modern gravel bike? I don't know. Like, this is definitely a bike that's not worth throwing away. This is like a cool bike that something should be done with, but it's way too small for me. So. Muskrat said he has a Mag 21 to trade for a sandwich. So Dragonhead said original paint is only original once. Repaint is worth the same as any other color. Yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah, that's really the question is what do you do with this thing? Like, it's cool. It's been stickered over, like, but it's all kind of here. And like I said, if that guy has the box with the other lever and the rear derailleur, there's no rear derailleur on here, by the way. So, but these are also like, these are hot bikes right now, right? So. Patty says this would be a rad single-speed town bike, but not worth painting as new. Gotcha. Only bike that should be restored as original is a bike that has a good original paint. So, fair Pudgy. True. Like, to me, like, in general, going original is not something I would do without a bike without provenance. Like, that's just not, like, my cup of tea. To me, it's like, make it whatever you want it. Is kind of where I'm leaning. Aaron, like I said, Aaron really wants a bike with a suspension fork now. All of a sudden, she has her Cannondale, like her vintage Cannondale, which is her cool mountain bike and road bike. But she was like, "Well, this bike would fit me. Like, fix it up for me with a suspension fork." So obviously, that's an option too. I do think it's kind of cool and a kind of historic piece, and I'm like, it doesn't need to be reset. It's not valuable on the level that it needs to go original, but it would be just kind of cool to do that anyways. Get some spray dot bike, green purple for the front end, and just buy the specialized decals, not to get it back up to any kind of value, but just to put it back into its state. I don't know, just an idea. Like I said, I'm a little buzzed tonight, so this is just what I'm thinking. I'm thinking out loud with you guys. I raced back here, turned on the stream, and I'm just spitballing, as they say. Dragonhead, that's a cool opinion. Yeah. Sam Diaz says single speed crusher. I think Pudgy's got the right end. I think what Pudgy is saying is the best mentality. He said, I'd get it running and working well and find someone who will ride the crap out of it and give it to them. Yeah. And so, well, just giving it to them for the cost you put into it. So, like, obviously you have to you know, cables, housing, tires. This has two different. It has like kind of a roadie, not roadie, but road tire on the rear. And then it has more of a classic, like 90s mountain bike, you know, tire on the front. What is this? It says made in Japan. This is a. Oh, it's a pan eraser. Pan eraser on the front. Yeah. Yeah, obsolescence said make it what you want it. So it's too small for me. So the whole thing is I want it to be ridden, like, and it's not going to be my bike. So it would be someone else's bike, you know. So it's like, where do you go? I'm definitely going to strip all these stickers off here. That's going to be the first move. Uh, Something I'd be doing tonight, but I literally cannot stand because of my sciatica, which sucks. But Party Size says go full squid style paint job on that B. Yeah, so it's also an opportunity to like, yeah, and Obsolescence says pressure wash those stickers off. Chris says don't take money in, or don't put money in, take donations. But yes, Chris said I'm making him feel old calling a '90s a classic. So the oldest bike I own is a 2001. Our oldest bike I bought, the only bike I've ever bought new that's in my collection, is a 2001. So don't feel too old. But this is a 93, so I would have been a freshman in high school when this bike was bought new. But this is definitely, I definitely think this is a cool bike. So something needs to be done with it. I don't want it to be a wall. I want someone to be riding this bike for sure. Whichever direction we go with it. Yeah, obsolescence. Still struggling. Yeah, still struggling with the sciatica. Wait, so 93. Wait, someone said 23 years ago. That's not right, right? 93, 2003, 2013, 20. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Yeah, that's your math checks out. Well, I think as the weather gets worse, it would be fun to mess with this, and whether Erin really wants it because it was her friend, um, and she wants it built up as a mountain bike for her. That's what we'll do. Again, I don't think that's. I don't understand what her Cannondale is a nicer, is a cooler bike than this. I don't see why she needs this one, but she also said, "Well, you have a bunch of bikes. Why do I? Why do I need?" And she's like, "Don't question me on why I want another one." And she's right. I have a whole wall of bikes hanging here of vintage road bikes that I ride here and there. The '90s started 33 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, we're all getting older. That doesn't stop any of us. Should we look at the Bridgestone? The Bridgestone is cool. Someone's resprayed it and they just stuck like poster stickers on it. But I wish this bike was my size because this frame is cool as fuck. Like it is lugged steel. It is like cantilever brakes. It's like perfection. Like so. Wait, let's see. Wait, 93, 2003, 10 years, 2013, 20 years, 2023. Wait, what am I missing? Yeah, Large. I told Large he's got dibs on the Bridgestone, obviously. And so I don't know it's a Bridgestone, but I looked up. The guy who gave it to us said it was a Bridgestone. I looked at some at Perry's Bridgestone. I need to show it to him, but I think it's a Japanese-made Bridgestone. Like I really do. Someone put here. Let's get it up here. Let's get it over here. So this is a Stumpjumper. We'll talk about this in the future. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Like I said, Aaron's got dibs on the Stumpjumper. Obviously, it's her friend. If she wants me to build this up with a suspension fork and she wants another 26-inch mountain bike, I guess I have no choice. But yeah, let's the Bridgestone is cool. Let's take a look at it. And part of me is I move like a cripple because that's what I am right now. Oh shit. I tried to hang it by the seat post, but the seat post was not attached. Give me a second. Or it wasn't tightened down, you know. It's got a quick release on the seat post. Damn, this is a long ass seat post. I know this is not good content. Like I said, I'm feeling rough. Give me some of your good graces. Damn it, I still didn't tighten it enough. Give me a second. This is what every day of my life is like right now. Just a fucking struggle. I don't mean to compare it to people who have real struggles. I just mean I'm living in pain. Like there's people with real struggles. I'm just have a little bit of pain. God damn it! Why won't this just? All right. It's like I just can't do anything right. What's going on there? How are you guys doing? Am I live streaming? Fuck. Let's see. I've ignored every. Let's see where we're at. Oh, Chris, you said you watched the Seinfeld. They also have a Klein in the background. So let me get some camera angles on this so you guys can see it. Like I said, it's a respray, and someone's put Bridgestone, like the poster decals on it. But this is a this is a pretty cool bike. So, by the way, well, before I get up, I'll say Dior XT front derailleur, Ultegra rear derailleur. I doubt this is how it was originally built up, but probably the Dior XT. But the brakes are Tektro. Is that Onyx or Oryx? Onyx. The headset is Shimano 600, and there's the levers. I think are Shimano 600 as well. Wait, that's a. Was this a conversion to drop bar bike? Let's see. Yeah, so triple in the front. It's a Holotech Shimano crankset. As you can see, that's a goofy stem. Um, to go back to a normal quill stem would look cool on this bike, obviously. I just think someone who was not nearly as small as this bike was riding it. But yeah, this is a cool looking steel frame. I'm all about it. Way too small for me, but and they also put like these suicide levers on here for some reason. The other levers are in a bag I have somewhere that he gave me. Yeah, we should check out what the wheels are too. I think like one is some modern piece of shit, and the rear one is probably like more of an original, decent one. So, what is this Zoom stem? Have you guys ever seen anything like this? I have no idea what that thing is. This monstrosity that they have put on the front of this bike. Yeah, it's definitely a 26 patty. Yeah. Same. I missed the silver stuff, right? Who said that? The Klein, I looked party size. I looked up the Klein on Seinfeld. I did some research. It got stolen. Someone on the staff of, they don't know, someone who worked for Seinfeld stole the Klein at some point in history. And whatever bike someone else mentioned is the one that replaced it. But the one that was in Jerry's apartment was a Klein. And it, yeah, no one knows whatever happened to it. By the way, yeah, let's see. Ugh, God damn it, my fucking leg is killing me. Oh, Onyx? Is that how you pronounce it? Dragon has a Dior XT was 95 to 97. Same as on your Cannondale. Way too late for this frame. Yeah, because this frame has to be early, right? This would be an early mountain bike frame. So is nothing on here original, maybe? Maybe the frame is only the original thing. So it's got a triple. And I also thought the Holotech crankset looked later than would have been on this frame, right? Like that's a later crankset, right? I think. So let's see. I think it's original Holotech, not Holotech 2. That's my guess. But like even the dropouts are nice. These are Ford dropouts. These aren't the cheap sheet metal dropouts that you get on a bike. Let's see what the rear hub is. Like where did I put that little rag I had? Yeah, the rear hub on this rear reel, which I think is probably closer to original than the front one. Like I said, I think that's a cheap reproduction. Is a Shimano FH, whatever FH is. And then this has bar ends on it now, which I don't think are original to the bike. I think maybe someone did a drop bar conversion way before this was cool to do. Um, yeah, so Shimano, Japan. Oh, and they also have the friction versus index levers on these bar ends. SIS 8-speed, but it doesn't say, there's no model name on here that I've seen so far. Yeah. Yeah, real mashup, something someone built up later for sure. Right. Yeah, so if anyone has an opinion, like lugged frame, I think some Perry's is a lugged Bridgestone. And the guy kept calling it a Bridgestone, so I don't know if he was the one who resprayed it. But he was like, it's got to be decent. It's got a Shimano 600 headset and all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, for free, there's no turning this bike down for sure. But tiny, like what? Let's see if I can get this in. I mean, definitely like I would think like a 52, maybe smaller. Like this is a small bike. I'm not a Bridgestone historian, like as much as like Grant stuff I like and all that. Someone said Zoom was popular race stuff. Really? Huh. Again, we just loaded these up. We went for a ride, and like I think this is reasonable, definitely decent stuff to have. But the head tube badge? No, there's no head tube badge. Someone put a B over it, but beautiful head lugs. I'll show you to it. Show you it. Yeah, they stuck that B on there. You could see it's a beautiful lugged set. And the holder, what is the TR? I zoom on the and then TR on the cantilever brake holder. But this is just a stick-on letter like the Bridgestone. So, yeah, no head badge, unfortunately. They also put an XO1 decal on the side, but that's obviously a joke. This is not an XO1. They put an 8 on the seat tube. So I tried to look up MB8, but there's not an MB8, so I'm not sure what exactly this would be. Maybe there's a serial number somewhere on here. Maybe the bottom of the bottom bracket. We'll check out and see if that can be researched. Oh, yeah, gotta get this. What diameter is a steer to? This is probably a 1 1/8, right? When you guess that? I'm not sure. Like I said, I have not done any research on this yet, except to look up and be like, this definitely looks like the lugs on those Bridgestones from that era. But oh, Sleepy Holler making fun of me for calling stuff by the whole millimeters. Hey, what's up, diversity? Glad to have you back. Dragon had said maybe an MB3. Patty said MB6 was the highest number. Okay. Yeah. This has got to be a early 90s, right, Pudgy? And Chris, you said that too? Um, yeah, that logo's not original, Brandon, that's just a stuck on. Um, that's just stuck on. Like if you guys are old as me, we used to make posters in high school with those letters. That's all it is. So there's no head tube. It's painted over or was removed. If it was a sticker, they took it off and repainted it. So no idea. The only thing would be if there's a serial number somewhere on here. Let me look under the bottom bracket real quick and see if there is. Obviously, with the respray, it could have totally erased, filled in those gaps. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything. I think the only real way to identify this bike would be to compare the lugs. I think to some other Bridgestones out there, which, like I said, just a really quick glance, that's why I knew it was a Bridgestone, but I haven't gone in depth on what it might be. Uh, and something I think this original front derailleur, if you could see up close, um, the way this derailleur is clamped on, it really doesn't look like it's been moved since it was put back on. DORXT, I think this is probably right. Wouldn't that be original? I think out of everything on the bike, that's the original component, but maybe not. Large and fill in those gaps. So Patty says 80s frame for sure. MB4 is a little more modern, Brandon says. The dropouts, like I said, they're forged, and they're definitely forged dropouts. And they do have a fender hole. I'm not seeing any markings. Let me clean them up a little. Yeah, not seeing any actual markings on them. I should drop the rear wheel out here in a minute when I feel well enough. Saw someone ask what's up my leg. It's sciatica, and I'm just in horrible, horrible shape with it. Brandon says MB4 is 92. Semi-horizontal dropouts? No, they're vertical dropouts. They're vertical dropouts for sure. Yeah, let's see. I could probably stand for a second and get this wheel out of here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, no markings on the dropouts, on the rear dropouts, unfortunately. So I would have thought underneath the bottom bracket shell, that's where we would have been able to determine something. But from with the plastic, there's a plastic cable guide under there, and I'm not seeing anything. So, but this is a lugged mountain bike that looks like a road bike. So what you guys know mountain bikes better than me. A lot of you do. So I'm trying to figure out what error that would make it, place it at. I mean, this is a small, typical gauge tubing, beautiful lugs, like lug construction everywhere. Forge dropouts, posts for cantilevers. Yeah, what would that be? Definitely early 90s at the latest, right? Dragonhead said Bridgestone serial may also be below the top cup on the front head tube. I'll check that out right here. Pudgy said, if I had to guess, the frame set is late 80s, early 90s, and the build is late 90s. Yeah, the XOs had mustache bars. It's not. We're not lucky. I don't think we have an XO here, but let's see if there is a serial number on the head tube. I would say even with the respray, there should be some. I should be able to feel like a little bit of a serial number, and there's nothing on the head tube. Yeah, maybe something on the bottom bracket. I didn't see anything, but it's hard to get that low. Let's flip it upside down, right? Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that there would have to be a serial number on this bike stamped in at the age of this is somewhere, but I'm not seeing it on the head tube and I'm not seeing it on the bottom bracket. Oh, right. Wait. Maybe there is something up here. It does. There's some indentations, but it doesn't look like a full serial number. Yeah, definitely have to do some research on this guy. Yeah. It's gonna fall. Yeah, this is what happens when your host is a very crippled man tonight. So, I'm reading the comments. Bye. Tim's phone. He can't get it up. Oh, Summit Perry's. Oh, obsolescence. You said Summit Perry's didn't have lugs, so. Pudgy said to put that level group set on an old frame might mean that the frame is higher end one. XT was basically the top tier, just under XTR back then. Yeah. Oh yeah. SRAM and Campy hadn't jumped into the mountain bike world yet. So a Mosaic Cosmo says beers cure sciatica. That's what I'm doing tonight. Let's get this focus back. Yeah. I haven't been drinking. I've been struggling. What's up, Raymond? Yeah. Is the seat stay brace straight or curved? It's straight. Yeah, it's straight. Yeah, I think that, so. Judging by like the other things this guy gave me, decent specialized. He also had a oh come on, a GT, a double triangle GT on his wall, and that was the bike he was keeping. I think he had stuff that was cool and knew was quality when it wasn't worth a lot. So, like a lot like the cameras I own, like my vintage stuff.
Kyle Cummins subscribed to the channel.
Have some cool stuff, but no one cared about it like 10 years ago, right? So I think this is kind of the same situation where this is probably a decent Bridgestone and like same thing, like an M2 Stumpjumper. Those are cool now, but 10 years ago, they were just in between when their time frame was worthwhile, right? Let's see what Dragon had put in the Discord. Let me move this chat back down. So. Oh yeah, those lugs look very similar. The fork on this one is Unicrown, so it's definitely not like a lugged fork like that, but who knows when that was changed and if it was just painted to match the respray. But yeah, the rest of the lugs check out completely. That looks very similar. So yeah, those lugs on the head tube. Now, where's my chat? I lost my chat. Oh, there it is. No, there it is. Why does this look so small to me? Small. I'm just this. Oh, Charles said like a fat chance. Dragonhead said MB4 had a Unicrown fork. Okay. Oh yeah, Pudgy's got a fat chance too. Yeah, just looking at a couple bikes that we got for free. A guy was moving out of Canton, and oh shoot, were we still live? Shoot, I clicked some wrong buttons. Are we all good? I think so, yeah. Good. Charles said all Bridgestones are quality. Yeah. I actually don't know a ton about it. You know, like, I mean, I know the basics like a lot of us do, but. Patty linked an MB2 Discord. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, again, a lot of that is very similar to this build. And with the rigid fork. Yeah, so there's an MB4 Trailblazer. Where'd my chat go? Pudgy's not a Grant fan. Good thing Rick is in here, right? Yeah, Dragonhead. Yeah, so Rivendell obviously is where Grant is now, but yeah, and the XO1s, right? XO1, right, are legendary bikes, but this is definitely not one of those. But it is a lugged frame. I'm guessing it's probably a Japanese built frame. This is not a later one. It's decent, whatever it is. It would definitely be worth doing the research to figure out what the original frame of this is, even with the respray. But very small, like I said, it's a 52 or smaller. There's no head tube on this bike, so. Why is this just my mind from why does everything look so small? Let's see. Bridgestone was created by yeah. Oh yeah, the delayed dragon head is also always horrible. That's just part of doing this live streaming thing. Yeah, what it's 10 o'clock. We're gonna take a quick break because I have to take a leak. And I'm in a lot of pain. I need to get in a more comfortable chair. And I think I'm gonna rearrange stuff and we'll just chat. It's gonna show more of the bike. I was gonna work on the bikes more. I really just need to be in a comfortable position because that's where sciatica has me, which sucks. But yeah, we'll be right back. Well, nothing's working for me tonight. That's how it goes. Went to the break and Hit me. I'm back. Everything's a little chaotic over here. Is that good enough? This is how I'm bracing the TV where I see the chat on is with a crank arm. So yeah. All right, let's get this get everything organized. So where are we at? Where are we at on this shit. It's weird. My stats on YouTube right now are just jumping all over the place. It's like as long as you guys are here, right? Yeah. Hey, what's up, Black Ball? Glad you jumped in. Yeah, I also saw that some people have dropped some photos. Let's see what we got in the drink pics. Oh, what's Patty sipping on? Where's my... Patty has a Dillinger Brewing Co. Birds Aren't Real. Wow, that's an awesome looking beer. Double dry hopped IPA, 6.9%. Yeah. I am a lie. Yeah. Let's see what we got in the bike pics. Oh, we got Samuel's crust. With the Velo Orange group set. Let's get this big. Oh yeah, that looks really nice. That Bombora looks great with the with that crank set on it. Yeah, I dig it. I think a Bombora would look cool with some anodized velocity wheels too, right? Like nothing against like you have a nice Hunt wheel set on there, but like that lavender pinkish Bombora would look really cool with. What's up, Charles Foster? Pudgy said not drinking has really made his afternoons, evenings boring. Yeah, well, that's how mine have been until except tonight. So it's a cheat day. I that is my least favorite adult term besides adulting. I hate the word adulting. Like I hate that. I also hate when people say cheat day. Like I hate that. Like do what you want. You're a grown ass person. Like it's not cheating. You can do whatever the fuck you want. E-bikes aren't cheating. You could ride an e-bike if you want. Like none of that. I just hate that shit. Like it drives me fucking insane. Like I can't help it. Like this isn't a cheat day for me. I haven't been drinking and I'm drinking tonight. That's all that's going on. Like, nothing more, nothing less. Right, guys? What's up, Charles? How you doing? Kiddos? Oh, blackball? That's funny you said that because I actually like the phrase kiddos because when my dad used to get home from work and he was like well, I would say 9 to 5er, but that would be a lie because he was like a 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. guy, but he worked for a bank. But when he got home, he would always look at me and my sister, and if my brother was older, but when he was around, he'd say, "What's up, kiddos?" So actually, to me, that's like an enduring. That's not the way you pronounce it. Endearing term to me. But that's just like a personal thing. But yeah, Budgie, cheat day for spousal infidelity. It's a cheat day. Bangs the neighbor. Yeah, exactly. Like there's no such thing as a cheat day. Live your life. You're a grown ass human being. Like you do what you want. There's no if you want to oh, I'm a vegetarian, but it's a cheat day. No, you're not a vegetarian. That's all there is to it. You're not a vegetarian. Like I cook vegetarian in my house. Like that's how I live here at the studio. Like I don't buy meat. Meat doesn't come in here. When I eat out, I eat whatever I want. It's not a cheat. There's no cheating when I'm eating out. I'm not a vegetarian anymore. Like plain and simple. If you're a vegetarian, you don't eat meat. Like, all that stuff. Like I hate it. Like there's no such thing as a cheat day. Like you are who you are. You live the way you live. Like drop that bullshit. You don't need to justify it to anybody. You're a grown ass person. Live your life. Hey, what's up, Stoked on Spokes? Good to see you. Marge has already told me to abort. That's what happens when I. That's what happens when I have a couple drinks for the first time in a while. Yeah, Jacob Ferrante. What's up, Jacob? Yeah, hope your move went well, by the way, Jacob. What do you call a vegetarian that eats fish? Not a vegetarian. No, exactly. Not a vegetarian. You're, you're not a vegetarian. That's all there is to it. I'm a vegetarian, but I eat fish. No, you're not a vegetarian. You're just not a vegetarian. That's it. No big deal. That's fine. No complaints, but you're not a vegetarian. Yeah. Diversity Love said, drinking every night will make you sick. I quit drinking years ago so I could have more energy for other hobbies. But it's truly a personal lifestyle choice. True. And so I've talked about this, and I was talking about this with some other cyclists last week that I ran into, or a couple weeks ago. And I quit completely, like for like a month at a time. And like quitting drinking completely, I'm not happy. Like I really like beer. I really like craft beer. I really like going to breweries. But drinking too much, I realized, is like, not I realized, I've always known it, but is a problem. Like, so I'm going to drink beers. I'm not going to totally quit because for me, I'm not a happy person when I do that. But it doesn't need to be a Monday night with 4 beers. That's too much. And so it's to me is finding the line where I can be like enjoy some drinks, enjoy going to a new brewery in a new city, but not always just getting drunk. Like Saturday, if you guys saw the last video I put out, me and Aaron rode our bikes, had a great day, didn't get drunk, but had some beers. That's what I'm looking for. Like that's the place to call it for me, anyways. And everybody's line is different, and I have no problem if you're not hurting anyone else with the way you live your life. But that's, you know. Mosaic said, cook spaghetti squash today. Wish there was a cheat to make that taste better. All right, salt and tomatoes, right? Mono Lake said, well, then I'm getting the whiskey out right now. Yeah, Jacob, you said you've had so many people be like, oh, yeah, we don't eat meat. Our vegetarian too, but we eat fish. Yeah, you either are or you aren't. Like, you don't eat animals or you do. Like I said, when I go out to eat, I don't limit myself in what I eat. Like that's just a fact of my life now. That's how I am. Like I am a vegetarian in this building, but I would never call myself a vegetarian to anyone else. Like I know I just did it to a live stream on YouTube, but I would I wouldn't. I would never say I'm a vegetarian. Like I'm not. Like Charles, you said you lost a lot of weight just cutting down on monitoring your fat intake, and like I could tell you right away, just a couple weeks without drinking beer every day, like talk about easy weight loss. Like this is the most empty calories you could ever do. This is just like I don't drink pop either. What we call in Ohio pop, Northeast Ohio, Coke, Pepsi, like soda, depending on what part of the country you're in. So I already don't take in those empty calories. So but just to cut out beer, like even like 2 beers a night, like as my dessert, like so I have a horrible sweet tooth. So after I have dinner, like I want something sweet, and just having one beer like could satiate that for me. And so instead of having a dessert, a piece of chocolate cake, whatever it may be for you guys, a cookie, I could just drink one beer, and I enjoy drinking a beer. And since I'm a photographer, a freelancer, and I live alone, I like to sit at my computer after dinner and work for a while, just knock out some work. Having a beer is like a great thing for me. Like I just satiates that sweet tooth instead of having a bunch of sweet food. But yeah, just what 250 empty calories, depending on what beer you're drinking, is to cut that out of your life. Like every night of the week, like you're going to lose weight. Like whether you want to, I mean, it's not a goal that everyone needs to have, but you will. Like Jacob said, 2 out of 3 best friends are recovering drug addicts by association. So you're sober by association. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Stoked. I've only been following your videos since late last spring, so I'm looking forward to seeing a little if you post like winter riding. If you like commuting as a teacher, if you do that in the winter, I haven't jumped back through your archives. So yeah. Matt, how about that? Said it's hard to eat healthy bike touring. So you're usually a keto diet, but when you're bike touring, you don't. Yeah. When I'm bike touring too, like it's like I've talked about this before, but like my friends, Large, Aaron, Funny Brad, they like are very into like buying sports science stuff, like whatever. I'm not very into, but they do. And I'm just like peanut M&Ms from the gas station, or just keeping enough calories to have the energy for where I need it. So that's my style. Again, works for me. You know, I'm just gonna buy sugar from a gas station when I need to. Like that's not what I'm gonna eat at home when I'm on a bike tour. Was excess like to get a good drunk on once a season. Yeah. Stoked on Spoke said dry January is the month to do it right after the holidays. Yeah, and I think that's a good way. I think that is a good way to dry out, because the holidays, if you are someone who drinks, people are giving you glasses of wine, and the plus holiday beer I really like. And if I get the chance to like travel, and like I have some cousins who come into town, and like that's our one connection is like we buy really expensive beers when we get together on Christmas Eve, and we like we pour them out like small, like just sharing them in like small glasses. So, but they're strong, strong beers, and you get to try something unique. So yeah, the holiday season for me is the time to like you have those drinks. But yeah, I think you're right. Like a dry January is the thing that makes the most sense. I think the last time I quit for a month was February leading into a March, and I'm like St. Patrick's Day is the first time I'll have a drink. That was also a bad idea because St. Patrick's Day, that's not the first time you want to have a drink because then you're obviously going over the edge. Or someone like me is. So Oh yeah, Pudgy, you're about to travel in February, so that's the end of your line. Chris said, Tim, you're a thin guy. Looks like you're on the right track. Yeah, I mean, I always talk about like weight weenie stuff with bikes, and I'm like, when people are true weight weenies with bikes, I'm not. I'm naturally I'm going to be tall and lanky, but I'm like, I've got a little bit of a belly, like right now, and as what am I, 44? Yeah, but I always say like, if you're a weight weenie about your bike, lose a couple pounds, and I don't mean that to like say to like someone like you should lose some weight. I'm saying if you're putting titanium bolts in your crankset, like you can probably lose more weight off your own body than you could ever take off by putting titanium bolts in your crankset. I could. And so like saying like you're saying I look thin. Yes, naturally going to lucky, got the genes, I'm always going to be fairly thin. But like I can lose more weight here than my bike could ever lose by doing the latest GCN bullshit hill climb garbage build, like cutting off my drop bars, to lose weight. The weight is here, and the weight goes right here. Like so, and that's only if you care about that. It doesn't even need to matter. But like, literally, if you're talking about your bike's weight, this is where the weight is, right? Mosaic said you don't have to eat healthy for pedaling 100 miles a day. And that goes both ways. So I'd say, like, no, you don't. Like, you need to put in enough calorie if you're pedaling, like, tons of miles a day. But still, the quality of food you eat matters. Like I'm saying, I'll eat peanut M&Ms on a tour to keep up the energy level. But there is still some element of, like, the quality of food you eat does matter on a daily life. But Dragonhead said you get shit faced 3 times a year: birthday, Halloween, and New Year's. Nice. Mono Lake said your oldest son is 12 months sober. We have not had any booze in the house for 3 years. He moved out last weekend. I'm ready to stock up again. Yep. It's a weird relationship with alcohol. I think a lot of us have, right? Like where it's at least for me it is like being in a punk rock band all through my 20s and like overdoing everything, like I would say I have friends who I think smoke too much pot, like, but if they get by and they're happy, that's all that fucking matters. Like raw dogging reality is like not something I'm trying to do. And as some of you have seen on the last few streams, I've been trying to drink kava and do stuff like that and change up my lifestyle. I don't want to overdo it anymore with this. Like, and this is ironic to say because I'm drunk tonight. Like, but I've been happy not drinking the last couple weeks, like over drinking. But like I said, when I'm traveling, I wanted to try different beers. I think beer is like an amazing thing. Like I think it's interesting and the way that you could get the flavors out there. But I just don't want to be drunk and depressed and hungover that much anymore. If I push it over the edge once in a while, fine. But for me, it's like finding that balance of like I want to be able to have a few drinks without always being a drinker. And 2020 was a big um, like just like now, sciatica hit me really bad in 2020, and there was nothing going on. And I live in my photo studio, and everyone's like, "Wine with the wine," who was our governor, who is our governor at the time, and it was like one of those things where I'm in pain, I'm here alone, and I was like drinking too much, and I kind of hadn't recovered from that. And like the last few weeks, I'm like, "Hey, I've had enough," So what's up, Grand Subject? Good to see you in here. Pudgy said Tim's the fattest skinny guy he knows. Hey, what's up, Kevin? It's been a while. Yeah, and I'm working on. I made a bunch of notes today about like so I made that video about bike touring, and it for our level of channel like is viral, like over 100,000 views, which to me is insane. But all the comments that came in were very interesting, and like the repeating ones. Like of course when you get that big, there's gonna like something goes that viral. There's gonna be stuff that is on the fringes, but like the stuff I heard over and over again, I'm like, this is like market research. Like I don't mean market for YouTube, but market on like good ideas rise to the top when you hear them over and over again. So it's one of the things I want to make a video that's a reaction to that. Like, okay, so these were my ideas on like what I've learned in 5 years in bike touring, and here's like what I've learned from having a video get a bunch of views and people chat about it. So that's something I made a bunch of notes about today, and I'm gonna put out. I'm gonna record tomorrow and put out when I'm done editing it. But yeah, very interesting. Like to ask a question in a video and then have it like usually like a video of mine gets a few hundred views. So to have one get 100,000 views and ask a question, and you're like, well, that was a mistake. But in a way, it wasn't because I learned so much from it. Yeah, but the weight weenie stuff when it comes to like, I just think of like the comments I got on like inflatable pads versus like folding closed cell, and people are like, well, the weight, and I'm like, the weight. So today I did a bunch of like clicking around, and I'm like, we're talking about 2 or 3 ounces. When you have a whole like bike packing setup, and again, 2 to 3 ounces, here it is. Like it's in this 44-year-old belly. If you want to lose 2 to 3 ounces, like I'm gonna sleep comfortable and not worry about like you know if I want to lose 2 to 3 ounces, that's up to me to not have as many of these or not eat a cheeseburger. Muskrat, you said you recently found you had a high LDL cholesterol, so you have to limit your saturated fats. Huh. I know nothing about like different cholesterols and all that stuff. I probably something I should learn. Cass said, Tim, when's your next tour? So we've been talking about this on the stream. So my plan was to go to Nutmeg, Ronnie Romances, Ultra Dynamico, whatever you call them. Today he just right when I was out riding my bike posted stories about we're not going to be able to go to the farm we went to last year, and it's going to be a different situation. So I need to hit up my crew, Erin, my girlfriend. I was sitting there with Ben when we saw the news come through, and Funny Bread, and decide what our plan is. So my next bike adventure is definitely going to be around October 22nd. We've all planned to have Nutmeg time off, whether it's still Connecticut and Nutmeg. We'll have to all, you know, have the democracy votes of whether that's what do we want to do. Do we want to go and like ride the route? Um, One of the big things is I was really hoping to see a bunch of the people that I met from last year. So need to see what it looks like. And again, I was reading captions in a bar of what Ronnie Romance posted, but it sounds like it's not going to be the same. But yeah, so late October, New England was the plan. We'll see. I don't do very cold weather touring, so over the winter in Ohio, I'm not doing anything crazy. But Pudgy said, "I need to get back to your pre-COVID. You need to get back to your pre-COVID headspace." Yeah, I think that's huge, Pudgy. I think that's like a lot of us, like depending cycling or just life in general. I think like the COVID mindset has affected a lot of us. Like some for the better. I think some people have like come out like with a new like I mean I think that's a new reality that it's like benefit people. Um, like for me, like this is one of the benefits of COVID. Like I don't want to, people died. Like it was a horrible situation, but doing this kind of stuff and like, learning from Terry Berenson about like his live streams and like what he does has been a huge benefit to me personally. But yeah, there was a lot of negatives that I have not broken the mold of, and like that's what I'm talking about the last couple weeks, being like, hey, this isn't the reality for me anymore, and it's time to move forward. And I've been slammed this summer, like so talking about like the bike touring, like doing the Gap and CNO, and like loved it with my friends, but it's like I've been really busy and like I don't know. I need to combine the two. I learned a lot from like that break, that pause we had because of COVID, and like now that everything had come back full blast, like learning what's important and learning where the like the lines are, I think is like something a lot of us need to do. And yeah, there's been negatives. Like I think too much drinking, like daytime drinking for me has been a huge negative of COVID. Like at first it didn't matter, but then it becomes like, hey, this is a problem, you know. So, um, Matt, how about that? Asked if I'm planning on riding the Great American Trail. I don't have that kind of time yet with my small business. I would love to, but yeah, not in the cards right now. Like watching Terry B do his live stream, Twitch stream across the country, I loved. I financially not a possibility for me right now. Jacob said the weight thing is more important in backpacking. I think for sure. And I watch a lot of backpacking YouTube videos to get tips because I do kind of like to be a minimalist, but I also like to be comfortable. And the bike can carry a lot more weight than a backpacker can. So if you get the insulin plant, Diversity Love, it'll help you counter the sugar of alcohol. Yeah. It's funny. So to cut back, like you notice like losing that sugar and it changes your mood and your effect beyond the alcohol. So Mono Lake said, I didn't know you were a musician too. My oldest was into punk, and that is where he was doing most of his drinking and drugging. He's better now and not into the studio anymore. Yeah, so all through my late teens, early 20s, like I was a bass player in a band. Yeah, that was a huge part of the culture, obviously, being a fan of the Clash and the Ramones and like the stuff I liked, it definitely had an effect on. But you always find an excuse, like, to do things to escape, It's like yeah, it's like, oh, I've got to get a buzz before we play this show. Like, or maybe you need to accept your own reality. You know, not I always was drunk. I don't think I ever played it. I think I played like two shows fairly sober, like when I was sick, maybe. But oh, Charles said, Tim, you were in a punk rock band. Name some bands that influenced you. We were 70s British punk rock was our favorite stuff. So the Jam, number one. If you know the Jam, in the city, that was our number one influence. Like, and they were heavily influenced by the Who's, My Generation. But yeah, the Clash. I learned how to play bass, and my guitar player learned how to play guitar by learning every single song on the first Jam album and every single song on the first Clash album. That's what we did. Like, we sat in the basement when we were 17, 16 years old, and just uh, the guitar player, my best friend Pete Milo, was a savant. Basically, I'm not a musician, but he just like drilled it into my head. I'm like a technician, so he could like be like third dot, second string, fourth dot, third string, and he could just like drill it to me. And like that's that's how I learned. I would play a show like once we started playing shows at like the cool venues in Cleveland and Akron, and people would be like, "You're an amazing bass player," and it was like, I'm really not. I have no ear for it. It was just that like I had a friend who was like obsessed and a savant, and he would be like, and he would just like he would sit in a chair across from me, and he would like teach it to me, and he would like make me learn it like a drill sergeant. So I learned it, and people thought I was good at it, and I stood there and I looked like Paul Simon from the Clash, or I looked like Sid Vicious from the Sex Pistols, low bass, all rip off of the Ramones, like, and people thought I was really good, but it was just I just had a friend who made me do it. Like, and I loved it. I love music. I still love music, and I'm still a nerd about it. But yeah, I'm not a musician. I have no talent, like beyond having a sense of rhythm. I think you can play anything if you have a sense of rhythm and someone shows you, how to do it. So that's my music thing. This is not even being a this is still a cycling stream. Well, this is what the early ones were like, right, Pudgy? This is what we did. We just chatted, and I that's still what I like, right? Charles said he met Terry Berenson briefly in New York a few years back. You ride a fixed gear, and a friend of mine was a bike messenger in the U.S. Yet Terry's a friend of the channel. Like he's helped. This channel doesn't exist without Terry. Like I mean, I would still be doing stuff. I would still be doing film photography. I would still be doing other stuff. I've started like another outlet. Like I have a different YouTube channel to do that stuff. But Terry like was playing my videos on his Members Monday, and that was like something in the pandemic that kept me motivated. Like I really had a goal in the beginning of 2020 to put out a video every week because I'm a videographer, I'm a photographer, and I'm a commercial photographer. I wanted to get better at videography, and so I like gave myself a self-imposed goal of putting out a YouTube video at the beginning of 2020, once a week. And so I like was keeping up with that, and then the pandemic hit, and Large Marge told me about Terry Berenson. I hadn't watched his channel. Like I didn't know about it. Um, and I love New York City. And I started watching him and I'm like, God, this is really cool. And the pandemic hit. And then he started doing a Members Monday and he was playing my videos and that like had a huge effect on this channel. And then he was doing his like the live streams and I was like, I want to learn how to do that because I think that might be beneficial for my business, not for YouTube. Like I thought it was like, this is something I hopefully clients will pay me for. So yeah. So yeah, Terry's like, he's the dude. I fucking love Terry. Like I wouldn't be here without Terry. Like I wouldn't be talking on this mic right now without Terry Berenson. So yeah. And he jumped in the stream the last time I streamed live. And he was like, if you guys go out to Nutmeg and you get to New York, hit me up. Well, maybe we could grab a beer. So I hope we can. Like I would love to. But busy dude, I would never. I would feel bad even messaging him, making him step outside, like making him waste a second of his time. But yeah. Bradley Cordora asked if I like Nick Lowe. Yeah. I love the pins back from the 70s that say it's okay to like Nick Lowe. Yeah. Oh, Cheesy Rider, you said being a former musician. Like I do think one of the things that grew my channel is like they're 90s skate videos, like my videos of us riding our bikes. And like the music choice is huge to me. There's some days where I spend an hour trying to find the right song to make like a video on YouTube. Like it's a huge part of what I do. When I do talking videos now, which are way more popular than like the riding videos, like it's almost a relief because I'm like, it's a pain in the ass to like talk to the camera. But at the same time, I'm like, that's way easier than finding the right song to make a good video. So, oh, Mosaic, I remember Propaganda. They weren't my favorite thing. They were like, I liked their politics, but like that pop punk style. By the time that I found them, wasn't my favorite thing. But I do know Propaganda for sure. All that Fat Record sounding stuff, like I totally aware of. Matt 2.0, you said you were a bass player in a punk band in the 80s. Yeah. So for me, I would have started playing in like 94, 95. I was born in 78, so a little younger. But yeah, the thing that motivated us to pick up guitars was the Sex Pistols. We found like we liked some other stuff, we really loved the Descendants. If you know that LA punk band, the Descendants, like loved that. Like that was like our thing. But then when we heard the Pistols, it was like, oh, we can do this. And that I think it was the same influence back in the 70s where so many other punk bands got their start. It was a way easier like barrier to entry. Like you listen to Lombardo from the Descendants if you know them. Like that is like really good bass playing and like you can't pick up a bass and like play Bikeage. Like that is don't. It's one of my favorite bass lines of all time still. But like you can't pick up a bass and play that, but you listen to the early Sex Pistols, and you're like, oh, I can do this. Not early, because Glenn Matlock was a really good bass player, but like the simple chords, we were just playing chords, and like so that was what got us into it. And then we started listening to the Clash, and you're like, oh, a little bit of reggae. We could do this. We could play Police and Thieves. We could do that. And then the Jam. And when I started learning those Jam bluesy bass lines, I could do anything. I just applied what Bruce Foxton from the Jam was doing to whatever my guitar player was doing. Those I just riffed on those bluesy bass lines, but the way they played them as punk rock. So yeah, it's all Rehoboth from there. Bradley, are you going to Nutmeg still? Monoliths, kind of like High Fidelity for sure. So if you guys don't know, Muskrat in the stream has actually played harmonica on a one of my band's tracks. So that's how his buddy Dana is how we know each other, and the fact that we're like both cycling nerds is totally coincidental outside of how we know each other. But yeah. Uh, So Bradley, did you see the post about Nutmeg today? So there's no I need to go look at it. Like I said, I've been out riding, but it sounds like there's no central gathering place, which is a bummer. I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys my band. Why not? I think there's a couple live things on YouTube. If I'm in the right, no, this is the wrong. We've done this before, back in the early days of the stream when they were always drunken messes like this. The audio gets so off. These are early days of digital, you know what I mean? Let's see what this one is. Why can't I hear any of this? Oh, my batteries must be dead. Oh, so Pudgy has it. Basically, you're bike packing your Nutmeg ride to the farm, camping at the farm, and riding your car to the next day. So we are going to gather if we are going to gather. So if we're going to gather at a mutual space for Nutmeg, I'm totally in on that. Yeah, like long as we're all going to the same space to camp, like I'm totally into that. Yeah. No, Bradley, it's the town that was giving them shit. So why can't I get this? Let's see. Yeah, I'm still down for Nutmeg then. We'll all meet each other up at Nutmeg. If we're all still heading to Cold Spring Farms and camping, I'm totally cool with bike packing. The way I read the post today, and again, I haven't read it sober, or it sounded like it's just going to be a route. Like I wasn't that down with just it being a route. If we're all still camping at Cold Spring, I want to go ride that and meet everyone and have fun. So. Really? I can't get anything to fucking work. see what this is. Oh, Bradley said the farm is off the table. All right, let me I'm gonna grab my headphones. We'll take one more leak. I have nowhere to go. I'm still 10:42. Yeah, let's take one more break. I'm gonna grab a drink, grab my headphones. Maybe we'll listen to some Strange Division. Nobody has to do anything. I'm just a guy on the internet, as Dustin Klein says, right? Yeah. Gonna grab a beer. Gonna grab my headphones. See if I can figure out the internet. Look at me. I have headphones on. I'm a fancy boy. Oh yeah, Patty for you would be a total hike. Yeah, Connecticut, Kevin. Yeah. Yeah, I am so like I will be so bummed if we can't make Nutmeg work cuz like I met so many people after the fact, so many people I'm friends with on this channel because of Nutmeg. So, let's see if this makes noise. Ah. Yeah, Kevin, we're talking about Runny Romance. Constant pain. I am literally living in constant pain right now. Let me up this camera angle. That's way too high. Why didn't you tell me that? Why can't I hear the internet? I don't like that angle either. You know what? Last year, Cheesy Rider, it wasn't. We had some cold nights, but during the day, it was actually really nice. How warm was it, Pudgy? I think we were in the 60s during the day. We had one really cold night, not really cold, but it was 40s. Can you guys hear that? Why can't I hear the desktop audio? How do I try this? Yeah, that's me on the end. Charles Foster Kane. Who are you that you know you came to take yourself away, by the way? How would anyone else know that? Oh, getting compared to the New York Dolls is an absolute blessing. Charles, I don't remember your name. That's a Matt Freeman from Rancid. Well, I am a huge Op Ivy fan, so let's see what we play next, right? This is the Madison Kent. This is now, so where we're standing, I went there with Large Marge and Aaron, and I was like, so this is now one of our friends has put a high-end cocktail bar into this space, and it's beautiful, and it's awesome. But like to be in there and be like, this was like the dirtiest BYOB dive bar, you know. The drummer just hit me up today. Me and him are still good friends. Lives in Boston. That's why we still hang out.
Good job, dude. Go.
Look at
What are we doing? He's in the band now. What are we doing?
oh, a little Who cover.
I got a feeling it's time. It's a strange kind. I feel like trouble. Can't tell in my soul, yeah. I said, I feel it good now, yeah, but
I feel like this should be one of the TikToks. Like I don't know if you guys watch TikTok, where I'm in the corner like, white dude hears the Who for the first time. So like, So Eric, the drummer, gets so pissed at us because we would just like take that energy and lose it because we would just stand around and look at like the set list and like what song is next, and we'd talk to our friends in the crowd, and he's like, "You got to keep that energy up." So, yeah. Oh yeah, this place was amazing. Yeah. Oh, the camera guy, Mosaic, he would put a VHS recorder. This is Jimmy Image. So if you're from the Akron area, he still works at the Lockview. But he would put a camera up on there was a ledge up there behind the bar, and he recorded everything that came through there. The dude is like done such a service to Ohio, like not because of my band, but because of really important bands that came through here. He's recorded everything. So yeah, he would climb up there, record the bands. Yeah, and he's still around. When I go downtown Akron and I go to get a beer and lunch, I go to the Lockview, and he's the dishwasher there, and he'll come out sometimes, and I still get a chat with him. Great dude. Yeah, Jimmy Image. Yeah. Yeah, Eric, that's Eric Schwartz on drums. So he lives in Boston right now. Hates it. Hates Bostonians. Hates New England. We were chatting last night, and he's just like, I can't wait to get back to the Midwest. But, you know. Went there for a woman, so. Oh, Charles, there is a video of us doing You Came to Take Yourself Away here in Cuyahoga Falls, not far from my studio that I own now, where we're sitting right now, at a place called Baba O'Reilly's. Let's see if it finds it just by typing in You Came. Some weird ass Nazi stuff. Yeah, how would I find that? Maybe quotes around the strange division? Yeah, there's a bar called Bob O'Reilly's. Oh, there it is. Somewhere here in town. I totally fuck up the opening note, and I'll never forget it. You can see it.
1, 2, 3, 4. You came to take yourself away. When I knew this can't be bad. You will go down on my service. When maybe a storm in the service. When I truly regret my condition. So don't take it.
Yeah, literally, this place was like right here somewhere. Like, I'm sitting in the basement of 1920s building that I now own as my photography studio. And this bar, I've asked some people where it was, and it's totally destroyed. Like, it's gone. Like, it's been removed. But I didn't even know where we were going back here. This must be 2005? I don't know. Yeah. See ya, Pudgy. Yeah. Yeah, this was one of our favorite songs. You know, we loved like the soul music stuff. We were a punk band, but like this was like Pete, who's on the edge. I'm the bass player. Yeah. Mono Lake, I wanted one of those Rickenbacker basses too. I couldn't afford one. That's why I'm playing the Fender. Yeah, but Pete had the Rick. So. All right, I'll let it. And you heard the glitch. Yeah, this was some weird early on digital recording our buddy Mike did, like which can't even believe exists. You know?
to trade yourself away. What I know is you can't be bad. Just walk you out and reputation. You can't see lost in persuasion. And they regret my condition.
All right, I bored you guys enough with that stuff. But like I said, I've been drinking. And, yeah. Blackball said you don't want a Rick bass. So I broke a string one night at the Manus, the place we were showing first, and my buddy Robbie gave me his Rickenbacker. But my problem was they had that metal bridge over the strings, and I couldn't strum because it was like where my hand fell, like faking the Ramon style bass that I do. You know, you could see how low my hand is there. So, yeah, that was a huge problem for me. But I love the sound of those Rick basses. I just love that trebly sound they have. And I was always trying to chase that with my cheap Mexican Fender and no money. So, yeah, I think let me adjust this camera a little bit. Let's see. So Peter's been living in Nashville, down there for a girl, and has hit me up, and he was like, he's put out some good music lately. I haven't played bass in years, and his brother, he's not the drummer here, but he's played drums for us. Like, he was just our practice guy in the basement. And Pete's like, would you be interested in doing anything? I'm like, yeah, as long as we don't take it seriously. So I guess he's moving back to town, and so maybe we might play a little bit again. Who knows? I haven't played. Like I said, I'm not a musician. I am happy to be a commercial photographer and a cyclist, but music is my, like, it is such a passion for me, as you guys know. And like, I'm sorry if I offended anyone in the last video when I like talk shit about Fish. Like, fucking hate jam bands. Like, I hate them. Like, I don't like it. It doesn't mean you can't like it, but my personality, as you guys know, is part of the channel. And just don't be offended. You know, don't be offended by the things I say. You know, if you're a racist, be offended. Like, fuck off. If you're a homophobe, be offended. Fuck off. But, you know, music, we don't have to not like each other over different tastes in music, you know, so. Bradley asked if I was into 90s stuff. I would say mostly no. Like, that's when I was into music, is in the 90s, but mainstream 90s stuff I did not like. But if you say, am I into 90s stuff, I fucking love Green Day. Like, that's 90s stuff, right? So it just depends on what you say. Like, do I love the 70s? I would say the 70s are garbage, but some of my favorite music is from the 70s, but it's not the general perception of the 70s. So the Clash, the Jam, you know, love that. Don't like Led Zeppelin. Don't give a fuck about most of the 60s bands that went into the 70s. Like, I think they all became garbage, but like, the 70s is probably my favorite era of music. But if someone said that, do you like 70s music? I would say no, because they're thinking, you know, they're thinking Kiss, Zeppelin, like the bands that I fucking hate. But I love the New York Dolls. I love the Clash. I love the Jam. I love the, you know, the stuff, the Buzzcocks. Like, so bands that came out of the 70s that are not associated with 70s music. So nerdy. Blackball was saying, but try to set a Rick bass up, impossible design. Yeah, those were those were $1,200. So Ricks, I should have bought one because I bet I haven't looked into it, but I bet they're expensive now. They were $1,200 in the 90s. Like when I was playing music, Like the brick bass I wanted was a $1,200 guitar, like with the full red finish, like the way I would have wanted it to look. Was a $1,200 guitar. Um, I bet that guitar is worth a lot more now. I could be totally wrong. Maybe it's worth less, but I probably is. English made Rickenbacker. And I love their slogan, the British sound in America. They're American made guitars that were popular in Britain. Like, just, I know it's a cycling channel, but I'm a music nerd first. So like, I just thought that was hilarious. Like, you guys into Rusted Root? Oh, Bradley, Dinosaur Jr. built to spill pavement. I don't like those bands. So I was just commenting on so in the Discord, someone at Chris, was that Chris? Who just posted they saw Pavement. Pavement seems like a band that I should like. A couple years ago with digital music, I went and listened to all their records. I didn't like any of it. Like I couldn't get into any of it. No. So like all that West Coast stuff from the 90s that led to grunge, like, man, I don't like it. Like, and again, it's not a judgment on anyone who does. Like Dinosaur Jr., like all that stuff. I I really, it doesn't do anything for me. I can't get into it. Like, I really like pop. Like, I really like pop. And I think that's part of why I like 60s mod that led into like 70s punk that like, you know, yeah. So no, like no shade on people who like those bands. Like tons of friends who love those bands. Like indie, what is considered indie rock just doesn't do anything for me. Like I tried, I was like, I'm missing something. There's no way I can't like Pavement with my friends who like Pavement. And I'm like, don't like them. Just literally don't like it. Yeah. So Charles, like there's a lot of Guided by Voices songs that I love, but Sonic Youth, hate Sonic Youth. No, I had a friend who I asked him to play me the best Sonic Youth songs. Don't like it at all, but Guided by Voices, tons of songs I like. Pixies, tons of songs I like. I think Pixies, like when you listen to like Where's My Mind, I'm like, this is like the reason the electric guitar was invented. When you listen to those notes kick in on Where Is My Mind, like it is so good. But there's still melody there. And I think that's why I don't like, maybe that's my problem with Sonic Youth and Pavement. Like it's less melodic. There's no melody. Like it's whereas the Pixies always had like melody. I love the Pixies. The Pixies are heavily influenced. They got to be by like the Velvet Underground, right? Like same thing with Mazzy Star. People are like, how can you love Mazzy Star? I fucking love Mazzy Star because it's all melody. It's all based on melody. Like great guitar playing. I love great guitar playing and I love melody. Like no, yeah, and like I said, like music arguments when I was younger, it's like we wouldn't be friends over this. Like, but now it's like, no, it doesn't matter that much. Like I was a Nazi, like literally a Nazi about music. Like it took a long time to overcome that, but I still have those same opinions. Like, have you guys seen, what is that movie, with Juno as the main character, and they use a bunch of songs by the Moldy Peaches. What is the name of that movie? Oh, come on, Tim. Get it here. But there's a scene where the main character and it's like Sonic Youth, it's just a bunch of noise. And I'm like, yes, there's just a bunch of fucking noise. And again, I don't mean it to be little. Like I was like literally shooting a friend's daughter's senior photos on Friday. What day of the week is today? Monday. So yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Um, and he loves experimental music. It just doesn't do anything for me. Like, it doesn't mean it's not good. It means I don't like it. Like, it doesn't do anything for me. Yeah, Radiohead. Radiohead's early stuff I liked. As cheesy asked, like, yeah, I'm a Creep. When I was in high school, I was a freshman in high school when Creep came out. Love that song. The later stuff, OK Computer stuff, it just sounded like a bunch of bleeps and bloops to me. And they're like, and I would have friends who would be like, well, they invented that. And I'm like, yeah, well, it didn't need to be invented. You know, just my opinion, right? And yet the live thing, like, there's a lot of bands I've seen live that I enjoyed live, but I didn't want to own their records. Going to, you know, I grew up going to indie venues, you know, like the Beachland, Euclid Tavern here in the Cleveland area. Like, I'm from Akron, but we went up to Cleveland for shows. And so I would see a lot of bands where I was like, man, this is fun to see live, but I don't want to listen to their recorded music, you know. She's leaves and loops. Yeah, I don't know. Trying to get, how do I get this off the screen? There we go. Yeah, and that's, I mean, like, that's the whole thing. Like, I don't know, music is so personal, but it's like, it's really interesting because, like, my drummer, the guy playing, like, the drum in that video, we are, like, gigantic Bob Dylan fans. And, like, after the pandemic, we went in, one of the channel members, Rick, we went and visited him in Philly, and we, like, both wanted to see Bob Dylan. And the drummer of this band, who were playing like noisy punk rock, mod punk rock with, were both like huge Dylan fans. And like we went and saw him, and like Dylan stands like now with one hand on the piano, and he plays the other hand with the piano. And it's like he has this great blues band around him, but it's like this is not shit that like some like old schools are old school. I'm 40s, but like punk rockers should like. And we're standing there drinking beers in heaven. Like, it's just shit we love. Like, and we're standing around, people are like, this is my 15th time seeing Dylan. This is my 16th time seeing Dylan. This is my 23rd time seeing Dylan. You know, it was my first. And people like shit on like seeing Bob Dylan live. People shit on Bob Dylan's music who are punk rockers, right? It just goes to show it's like, you have your own perspective on what you like, you know what I mean? Like, that is shit I love. Like, I love 1960s Bob Dylan. I love Bob Marley and the Wailers. Like, it has nothing to do with any, like, it's just what hits you, hits you. Like I don't judge people based on that. My camera died. See if we can get this back. Oh, Bradley, you played the Beachland in 2009. Nice. Can I not get the camera back? Let's see if we can get the camera back. I see the audio still coming through. All right, I guess we're just going to have to play some amazing rock and roll and go out with that. guess I can do this. This is my YouTube channel, right? Well, the funny thing is, I can't. So this is one of the few songs we let our singer write. So the guitar player, like me and him, were on the same page, and Wes is actually who I hang out with still the most now. But I can't get the camera to come back on, by the way. But I go and see Wes at the bar he works at, and we're still really good friends. Pete, I love. I just don't get to see anymore. That's how he rolls. But yeah, this was one of the few songs that Wes was allowed to write because me and Pete were always so on the same page. We're like, we're not gonna play your music, and that also shows like being youngsters and being fucking idiots and not just being cooler. You know, like you had a great song there, and we should have played it more. Like, but. I can't get the camera to go. I'm gonna keep listening. I feel like listening to a couple more songs. So if you guys want to hang out, this isn't gonna be a cycling stream anymore. You guys are allowed to listen, and if not, we could sign off. Someone said copyright strike. By the way, I don't put ads on the live streams anymore because the channel members, and I consider the live streams channel member supported. So there's never any pressure. Like you get everything. Like, but the channel members make it so I keep doing this. They're great. So people who put their money out there, think it's cool. But you don't have to. Like we're gonna still always have fun, and I value every one of you watching this equally. So let's see what this one is. Videotape mess up. Oh, I thought I was back. Look at how young I am. Look at like the little angel face on my red and blue striped shirt and my Fender bass guitar. Listen to me and my little blues bass line. Did Eric just take his shirt off? That's a real trip down memory lane here.
Count it off, man. That's how you used to always do it. 1, 2, 3.
This is quite the live stream. This is our hit single. We put out a 45, 500. Who rip off? We're just ripping off 1965 Who right here. Wes offered me a hit of a cigarette and I said no. I will say I don't think anybody ever ripped off early Who better than that. Like that is a great Who ripoff song, right? Like I didn't write that. I didn't write that bass line. I'm playing that dun 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 dun. Total 1960s it's stolen from what is that, Twist and Shout or Shout and Shimmy, whatever you want to talk about. But I didn't write it. Pete showed me it, told me to play it, and I did. But that is the best 1960s Who ripoff you've ever heard, right? Just killing it. That's what Pete was a genius at. Yeah, I miss that motherfucker every day of my life. That was my best friend for most of my entire life, and he's off doing his own thing, and I don't know. Feel like he's a lost child, and I miss him. I want to get him into cycling. I want to get him into riding bikes around. I want to be back by my side. But yeah, everyone's ripping off something, right? For sure. We were doing a good job of ripping off My Generation by The Who. We were doing a really good job of it. I stand by it 100%. And again, I'm going to sit here and drink. I'm going to see what we play next. I've got nowhere to go. I sleep here. I live here. Eric at its end of the wits. Just play a fucking song. Oh, looks like this video is running out.
Thanks for coming.
All right, maybe we... Oh, what the fuck? The fuck? Oh, there we are. Yeah, we used to do, we did a couple Who songs. We did Can't Explain. We did The Last Time. We never played My Generation. That wouldn't have felt right? All right, Blackball. Good night. Yeah, Pete has called me. Pete has called me on the telephone. So we'll see what happens with that. There might be a live show in the future. Oh, look at this old ass Lime Spider footage. Of course, Jimmy Image just capturing goddamn everything. Oh, here's some Who. Did you see that? I pulled a cigarette out of my bass strings and started smoking it at the end of the song. Those were different times, my friends. Those were different times. All right, let's get out of here. Love you guys. Thanks for hanging out this long. Stupid little return to having an off night. A cheat night. I hate that fucking term. But yeah, love you guys. All right, guys. I will see you soon. I have no other videos recorded. We'll see where YouTube goes next. I think it's all fun. I love it all. Peace.
Go see myself on your YouTube.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Cause
Yeah.
this time I'm
Fitzwater photo.